Konnichiwa nakamas. Today I'm gonna explain Fushiguro Megumi's 10 shadows technique from Jujutsu Kaisen in the context of Japan. First, in Japanese, this technique is actually called Tokusano Kagebojutsu. To means 10, Kusano means types of, Kage means shadow, and Bojutsu means law technique. And apparently the 10 shadows technique is inherited through the family of Fushiguro. So the literal spirit things that he summons are called Shikigami, and you might ask, what the frick is Shikigami? So this kind of goes all the way back in Japan as one of the biggest religion, or Japanese original religion, and biggest part of the culture is called Shinto, or Shintoism. And Shinto literally means the way or the path of the gods. And although Shinto isn't really religious in the Western aspect, in Japan it's very culturally influenced, and a lot of festivals and rituals are based on of Shintoism. So basically the culture impact that it has on Japan is huge. Just think about animes like Your Name, Naruto, Spirited Away, all of that is strongly influenced by Shintoism, and whatever anime that has that red gate looking thing, that's Shintoism or a symbol of Shinto. And the main philosophy behind Shintoism is that it has Yaoyorozu no Kami, which literally means 8 million gods. And each object in Japan has a god or a bunch of gods in relation to it. And Fushiguro Shikigami are one of the 8 million gods. So going back to Shikigami, Shiki means to be used, and Gami means god. So basically God that is being used by the sorcerer. So in Japan, starting from the Heian period, which was around 800 AD to around 1200 AD, there were these professions or people called onmyoji. And these people controlled Shikigami to battle natural disasters or other kami or gods, or even oni, which are basically demons or ogres. So one of the tricky aspects of this was that onmyoji claimed that they're the only ones who could see the gods or the kami. So whenever they summoned the Shikigami, or they said they battled or defeated a god, nobody really knows if they actually did it, but the claim was there, and they had pretty strong political and societal powers or authority. So basically the large portion of their job was to summon their Shikigami and defeat other kami or gods. And maybe one of them was like Muzan Jackson out there, and onmyoji was battling it out. So Fushiguro is based off of these people in Japan. Now the reason why there's 10 shadows clones or techniques So the reason why there's 10 shadow techniques is because it's from 10 treasures in Japan called Tokusano Kandakara. And Tokusano Kandakara was these 10 sacred treasures that I just mentioned that was given to the Mononobe clan of Japan by a god named Nigihayahi no Mikoto. These 10 are divided into 4 classes of treasures, and it's 2 mirrors, 1 sword, 4 magatama, which is like one of those kama looking things that's also the pattern of the Sharingan, and 3 hire or hide, which are basically like scarves that women wear. And although nobody knows if they actually exist, Shinto shrines claim that it does. But their images, or how they look like, is still transcribed and remembered. And those shapes or symbols are exactly the same symbols as the Shikigami that Fushiguro owns. Here's a picture of it, and I'll post a link of a Reddit post that talked about the same concept. And it also talks about which Shikigami belongs to which treasure. So finally, let's go over each of his Shikigamis. Gyokuken Shiro. Gyokuken Shiro literally means Gyoku, which means like ball, and Ken meaning dog, and Shiro meaning white. And in English, they're known as either divine dogs or demon dogs. And apparently in Jujutsu Kaisen, a Jujutsu sorcerer would start off with these 2 Shikigami or 2 Gyokuken, and eventually collect other Shikigami. Gyokuken Kuro is the same, while Kuro means black. It's apparently the twin of the white one. And then Gyokuken Kon, the Gyokuken is the same, but Kon means totality, but it shows that when the Shiro, or the white one, died, the Kuro was able to inherit those powers, and apparently that's how it works. When one Shikigami dies, it could inherit another. So Kon means totality, or kind of like combined. Nue is actually a real Japanese yokai, or a spirit kind of god, more of a spirit kind of thing. But the makeup of the Japanese yokai, or Japanese Nue, has a face of a monkey. Its body is tanuki, which is like a Japanese native raccoon. Its feet and arms are a tiger, and apparently its tail has a snake tail. So it's actually not really like the owl Nue that Fushiguro has, but certainly based off of it, I think. The hand side is for sure one of the coolest. Orochi literally means great serpent, and from Naruto, you know, Orochi Maru. So great serpent Maru, which is a last name. You put it in the last part of the name. And Fushiguro used Orochi with his fights with Sukuna. Gama is literally means like a huge toad. The kanji ga means shrimp or prawn, and ma means a toad. Now, why is shrimp and toad a big toad? I don't know. Sometimes Japanese works in mysterious ways. And in the anime, Kugisaki was saved by Gama when they were battling in the juvenile detention center. And then seite shirazu directly means unknown bottom of a well. Fushiguro first used this when fighting against Todo, and in the dubbed or the subbed, you might have seen it as the well's unknown abyss, and I'll explain why it's named that. It's a play on words because in Japanese there's a saying called the toad in the well doesn't know the size of the ocean. 胃の中のカエルは海を胃の中のカエル It's 胃の中のカエル胃の中のカエル大海を知らず is a direct translation. So basically in English it's like if you're a big fish in a small pond, you might be a small fish in a big sea. And it's trying to say based on your surroundings, you don't know the extent of how big the world actually is. But it's a play on words because the toad actually has wings, so ironically, it doesn't know the bottom of the well because it can fly. So it probably won't go to the bottom of the well. Okay. Hopefully that made sense. Bansho literally means max elephant or filled elephant. Because ban means maximally filled or completely filled, and sho means elephant. He used it real quickly when he was fighting against the blood guy. Those are the Shikigami known in anime so far. Let's see what else he got. If you like the content, please subscribe and join the nakama. Also follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And see you in the next video. ありがとうございます。